Hello, my name is Eugene Kelleher. My friends also call me Frank or Huge. I'm the founder of MyMomax Limited. Together with my colleagues and technology partners, we are seeding finXtec. finXtec would be a non-banking digital financial services network, utilising technology, analytics and automation in the cloud to encrypt, timestamp, validate and record non-reputable and immutable transactions of value, distributed, executed or moved through our network, making the provision of financial services more transparent, secure, efficient, cost-effective and relevant to end users, providing demonstrable and sustainable economic value to our customers and their clients. Customer. finXtec define a customer as any regulated investment organisation, institution or investment firm of any size, accessing outsourced digital financial solutions or services through the finXtec network. This will include, for example, private banks, wealth managers, stockbrokers, regulated investment intermediaries, independent financial advisors and family offices, amongst others. A client. Client is a corporate body or natural person serviced by finXtec customer whose transactions are recorded for on the finXtec network. The finXtec customer service and provision will be tangible, shared and focused on the delivery of payment, investment and asset services to corporate, private and retail clients through our customer base. Features of the service will include a client-centric interactive digital financial service, a customer advisor and investor wealth management platform which is flexible, adaptable and customizable for the delivery of advisor-led, advisor-assisted, self-directed or robo-advised customer strategies. finXtec will offer outsourced technology, data aggregation and an operations framework as a service for the delivery of global money, global investment, global custody services, connecting internal finXtec systems with external institutions such as stock exchanges, central securities depositories and payment networks. Customers will have access to robust analytics and reporting functions with automated investment and cognitive wealth compliance. These services and offerings will be branded for the customer in the cloud and powered by finXtec. finXtec Global Money will be a regulated financial institution delivering e-money and payment services. The service will be personalised, online and mobile, and will be accessible by customers and their clients through browsers, tablets and smartphones. finXtec will operate at the intersection of digital money, peer-to-peer money transfers and core banking technologies. The service offering will include instant payments, interbank foreign exchange rates and prepaid Master or Visa cards for the purchase of goods and services online or through point-of-sale terminals. finXtec Global Investments will be a regulated investment firm providing trade order routing and execution through members of global stock exchanges and managed funds networks. finXtec believe in making markets better for our customers and their clients through 24/7 access and availability with multi-currency, multi-asset and multi-account services. finXtec Global Custody will be a regulated investment firm providing trade order routing, administration and safekeeping services. We will be members of central securities depositories globally and will offer scalable and flexible asset servicing, including transaction processing, income collection and corporate action administration. In addition, customers and their clients will have access to a suite of cash management, proxy reporting, compliance and data service tools. Now I would like to introduce you to Michael Smith from our technology partner InvestCloud. Michael will demonstrate some of the functions that will be available to customers and clients on the finXtec instance of the InvestCloud network.
Thanks for taking some time out today to review finXtec's configuration, their unique configuration of the InvestCloud platform. What we'd like to walk you through is a workflow that is comprehensive. So in the actual configuration of this platform, there may be different entry points, which is perfectly acceptable and very supported. However, from the standpoint of communicating the complete flow, what we feel is it's important to actually walk you through everything from the creation of a client and a user, all the way through the opening of an account and the onboarding of investment assets into a managed or self-directed offering. So with that, what we're going to do is we're going to log into the finXtec platform, as you see here. But instead of logging in as an existing user, what we're going to do is we're going to create an account on the fly. And so I'm going to create an account here. I'm going to use some of Google's tools here to demonstrate email capability as well. We'll say that my childhood nickname was Buckeye. I met my spouse in Las Vegas, and the first book that I ever read was Thomas the Train. As you can see here, we've now successfully created a user, and it is that easy. It can even be less information than that than you might need to actually create a user on a platform. So what we're now going to do is log in as that user. And a key comment here is that a new user on the platform who does not have any investment assets really only has content available to them. So this would be curated content or licensed content from the financial institution that we would be put in front of this new user to assist them in making financial decisions, performing account onboarding, sharing market commentary, or investment insights. So what we're going to do here is simply walk through the workflow as actually opening a new account. In this case, you have two paths. So path number one is going to be, let me do it. Let me do it is going to be where you have a financially sophisticated investor who doesn't need to be guided through the investment process and has an understanding of their risk, their tolerance for risk, as well as what type of asset class allocation they would like to have. However, that truthfully is not the case for most investors. So what we're going to do is we're going to open an account and go through the guided workflow of I need some help. So the purpose of this account is going to be for retirement, and we'll just have this be a traditional sort of small retail investor with maybe $5,500 to invest. This particular configuration will pick a Roth IRA, which is a U.S. account type. This system does support everything with respect to multi-currency, as well as any of the financial institution's unique account types. So there's no limit to that. But for this demonstration, we'll be using a traditional Roth IRA. And we'll say that the number of years that we intend to put this money in for is 10. We'll fill out the remainder of the user information. So this is going to be leveraging the information that I added in when I created the user. All of this is a configurable questionnaire called applet that we call MQMA, which stands for multi-question, multi-answer. So the information that's being collected here can be easily configured, reduced, or extended based on the requirements of the financial institution or any local regulatory authority. Now what we're going to walk through is a questionnaire, and what's relevant about this particular questionnaire is that it is user interface managed. So there's no coding required to configure these questions, to configure these answers, or the weights or the scores associated with the questions or these answers. So what I'll do is say which of these statements best summarizes your view of investments. I will say that I understand that the stock market can be riskier, so I'm gonna pick the riskier answer. Which investment statement do you most agree with? I'll say I am prepared to take risk to maximize the growth of my investments. Now, the key thing here is we InvestCloud, as well as finXtec, are not going to be prescriptive about these questions. What is going to happen is each financial institution or client is going to be able to configure them, as well as the weightings and the answers, to align with their investment thesis and philosophy. But the important thing here is that this is a very configurable, without any code required, questionnaire that creates a scoring methodology that, as you answer these questions, will allow you to put yourself into a particular portfolio. So as I answer the last question here, what you'll see is an engine running in the background that actually interprets the answers that were given and actually put me into a portfolio. Now, I left many of those answers as default, so I landed on what we call the cash is king example portfolio here. Now, obviously, the portfolios themselves are also going to be very configurable to the client. There is no prescriptive use of any particular investment, asset class, fund, product, or asset allocation model. All of that is completely configurable to the financial institution. What you have is a very nice user interface for actually educating the consumer on both the quantitative aspects of the portfolio as well as qualitative aspects about this particular portfolio that may be relevant to them in terms of making adjustments. And if they do feel that they need to make an adjustment, so if, for example, after filling out that questionnaire, I do feel like I should be in somewhat of a more sophisticated model, I can actually dial up my sophistication to another model. So now you can see I'm in Don't Bet the Bank. If I go up another notch, you'll see that I'm now in same as market. So different investments, different asset class profiles, different pros and cons. After the investor is comfortable with moving forward with this particular portfolio, they'll click the Buy Portfolio button. Here's where they have the opportunity to indicate any tactical overlays, which is an investment term. Obviously, we're not calling that from an investor standpoint, but if you do have individual security model portfolios, you can do things like restrict tobacco or gambling or any of the other secondary impact investing or socially responsible investing components that are an aspect of the models that you are configuring for your clients. So I'm going to go forward here, and what you're going to see is that I'm actually able to now complete the questionnaire process for opening a complete financial account. Now, one thing to note here as I fill out these questions and answers is that this is integrated with the Google Mapping service. So it's actually, I'm sitting here in Los Angeles, which is why you're actually seeing automatically locally populated address information. If we were sitting in London or Dublin, you would see appropriate address information. So I'm going to say that my occupation is finance. I'm with InvestCloud, and we'll say that our address is at 8800 Sunset Boulevard. I'm going to say that my birth date, which, and again, this would be appropriately designed for the jurisdiction that you're operating in, but we'll say that my birthday is 5/10 of 1972, that I'm a male, and my social security number or government ID, again, another component that is very configurable based on the jurisdiction, is going to be set up here. I am married, and I am a U.S. citizen. We'll say that my annual income is 100 to 250K. I have between 50 and 100K to invest, and most of that is coming from my earnings, and we'll call this my first retirement account. We do have options for SWIFT and ACH integration as well. So if you do want to enter in an account number or a routing number to pull in information from a checking or a savings account or another brokerage account, you can do that as well. So we're going to be reminded that we picked 5,500 as the funding amount. You do have the option to schedule regular cash movements. In this case, we'll say that it is a one-time movement with a deposit of today. And then appropriate legal disclaimers, which are again going to be configured as appropriate by the financial institution and the regulatory jurisdiction that the client is operating in. These are all configured without writing any code. So here you're seeing a visual of the review screen that is, again, pre-integrated with a e-signature provider called DocuSign. We are flexible in terms of that integration. If there are different e-signature providers that you would like us to integrate with, that is always an option. However, we are pre-integrated with DocuSign. Here you can see that the information that I have here is appropriately configured based off of the questions that I answered. So having opened this account, I will now arrive back at the dashboard. And what that enables me to do is to then, as a client or as a prospective client, to continue to review content and see that the status of my initial account being opened, what I call the first retirement account, is here and is waiting for approval from the financial institution. With that, we're going to pause here and look at the advisor view of this now new account, which has been in place with the which has been put in place with the financial institution. And again, what's relevant to realize here is that there is an appropriate pause in the workflow, because for most financial institutions, there will be some kind of know your customer or risk analysis of a particular customer for their actual account to be opened. So we're going to switch tabs here into a different browser to log in as an advisor. So having logged in as an advisor, the first thing that you're seeing is obviously the consistent branding that is appropriate here, but you're seeing information about an advisor user or an operations professional who has access to a large number of accounts and or relationships. So a lot of different wealth management as well as direct retail models supported through this user interface. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go specifically into a screen that is going to enable us to see newly requested accounts. And as appropriate, we're seeing here that the first retirement account, which is account 0017, and classification same as market, is ready for review. And as we go into the review process for this, what I want to specify is that this whole workflow that you see here is actually intentionally created to comply with any of the regulatory data management requirements. So, for example, as I view the MQMA set here, and I have a pop-up block, so we'll turn that off. As we open up the MQMA set, and again, remember, MQMA is multi-question, multi-answer. What you're seeing here is the answers to the questions that were stored during the process. And what's very important is that this is an immutable, unchangeable record. So this is the questions as they were at the time they were asked, the answers as they were at the time they were answered, and the score as prescribed based off of the client's workflow. So there is the immutable, unchangeable record of the questionnaire set. You can, of course, see the client onboarding. Now this is going to be the detailed information that is again also configurable without writing any code, but all the information, typos and all, that was entered by the client during their onboarding. You can see the model portfolio, and again this is going to be an immutable, unchangeable record as well. So in this particular case, what you're seeing here is that the model that was selected was actually stored immutably and unchangeably with this workflow. And then finally, if the client does enter funding account information to actually move cash, then that is also displayed here and managed here in an unchangeable way, which you may want to restrict access to for certain operational users. So after having reviewed and gone through any internal procedures that are appropriate for the financial institution, given the market that they operate in, what we're going to do is indicate that this account is good to fund, and we will actually open and fund that account. And what you see here, very appropriately, is that these are the orders that have been generated from the rebalancer, taking $5,500 and putting it into the same as market model, and actually showing you what the ending securities balance would be. So this is the closest that you can get to a fully implemented portfolio of $5,500. So assuming that the advisor or the operations professional wants to move forward with this at this time, they can actually click execute this portfolio. And what's happening now is in the background, all of the appropriate accounting system and order management and trade flows are executing in the background. So we're going to click OK on that. And again, as what's appropriate to realize here is that this advisor or operations professional now has the ability to access that account and that client through the relationship in the account dashboard, and they have all of the tools that are relevant to them in terms of document management, reporting, become user for support, and data views around assets, transactions, etc., as well as model maintenance. So very quickly here, while that portfolio is implemented in the background, what I did want to walk you through was the MQMA process. And what's usually not completely understood until you see these screens is that there is the ability to create question and answer sets. These question and answer sets are what are configured by the advisor or by the financial institution, and this is the complete set of questions that the client was walked through. So as I'm clicking from question to question here at the top, what you see is the answers down here at the bottom. And very importantly, you see a sequence, you see a score, you see the ability to edit that question, and you see weightings across different flexible categories such as risk and time. Why this is important is because what it means is that as this questionnaire process matures over time, there will not be a systematic change required to change the questions, change the answers, change the scores, or change the information that is collected. So with that, we're going to, for the moment, sign out as the advisor, and we're going to flip back to the. So here we are back on the client experience, and what we're going to do is log in here. And what you see is that I now have an actual implemented portfolio. So that's what's really important here. So what you're seeing here is that I have a full $5,500 that's been implemented, and my role has been changed such that I'm actually able to see now allocations to things like bonds and equities and cash. And very importantly, what you also see here is the ability to actually access those holdings directly. So we'll go into the holdings detail area here, and you'll actually be able to see the specific funds that were implemented, as well as the overall balance of $5,500. Now, because the markets are not open while we're preparing this demo, that is not a ticking number. However, what you can see is here is a $5,500 balance. Now, if the markets were open and we were flowing through the production integration, obviously those orders would have been withheld. But for the purpose of obviously demonstrating this, we're using test integrations with the order management and trading and accounting systems. So finally, the other aspect that's important to see and understand here is going to be the ability to manage a self-directed model. So in this case, this person has very specifically set themselves up to be in a managed portfolio. And what I'd like to do is just very quickly create one more login, which we'll do quickly here. Same answers as before. This will create a new user with a new ability to see and go through a different process. And as I sign in as this user, what you'll see is if I had elected not to go through one of the managed portfolio operating models, I would actually have access to trading. So I'm going to click trading here, and what you'll see is access to the actual trading venue. And so again, this particular user interface has not been completely restyled to be brand compliant. That is in flow at the moment, at the time of this demo being produced. However, the integration is there with respect to the ability to see ticking orders, etc. Now, as a user, you would not have open orders. However, in this particular case, because this is the example configuration, we're automatically authenticating as a user for the purpose of demonstrating order flows and open items to be managed. So those are the core fundamental offerings that you can see here with respect to the configuration. So with that, thank you for your time, and we look forward to obviously hearing your comments and feedback. Take care.
Thank you, Michael. Now what I would like to do is demonstrate some of the concepts, features, functions and capabilities that will be available to a client through finXtec Global Money. finXtec Global Money will provide clients with a multi-currency payment account, which will enable them to spend, send, exchange and save money. All transactions conducted through the account will be non-reputable and immutable. With the exceptions of bank transfers, all transactions will be instantaneous and clients will have access to their funds immediately. You could think of a finXtec payment account as a digital current account. The payment account will act as a client's interface between finXtec and their designated bank account for the transfer of funds to and from their payment account. Bank transfers will occur in bank time, which could take up to 3 days or more for international transfers. When in app, the account will be used to transfer funds between the payment account and the client's investment accounts instantaneously in a secure and compliant manner. Adding funds. To add funds or to top up their payment account, the client will be able to do so by bank transfer, or where set up by debit card or Apple Pay. Peer-to-peer transfers. Additionally, funds can be sent to the account through a peer-to-peer request, where another user maintains a finXtec account. Should a transfer occur in this manner, funds will be available to the client instantaneously. All peer-to-peer transfers, either receiving or sending funds to contact, will be instantaneous, non-reputable and immutable. The service will be available for local and global transfers. A client will be able to send funds to a non-finXtec contact using their peer-to-peer methodology, at which point that contact will be invited to join finXtec through a customer to claim their funds. Bank instructions. As well as peer-to-peer transfers, a client will be able to set up instructions for a bank transfer to themselves or to third parties, simply by adding the bank's party details within the application. This service will be available for local and global money movements, and transfers can occur to any country in the world. Thank you. Foreign exchange transactions. finXtec will support foreign exchange transactions at interbank rates. To execute a transaction, a client would simply have to select the currencies which they wish to exchange, enter the amount they wish to exchange, and exchange. All transactions will be timestamped, validated and recorded by finXtec, with full access being given to the client. For the purchase of goods and services online, finXtec will provide a client with a prepaid Master or Visa card. Transactions will be instantaneous, non-reputable and immutable. Embedded within the card's functionality will be social media, venue discovery and loyalty tools. In addition, a client may elect to purchase a physical card. Accounting and records. Finally, and to reiterate, all transactions distributed, executed or moved through the finXtec network will be accounted for, encrypted and timestamped. They will be validated and recorded, and they will be non-reputable and immutable. The client will have access to all their records, transactions and activity in a compliant and regulatory manner. These activities will be maintained within the finXtec network forever. Finally, thank you for your time. Should you require any further information, please do not hesitate to contact me on efkelleher@finxtec.com or on my Irish mobile at 086 8200 280. Goodbye and have a good day.